Hey everybody, this is Lady J, and I am here with the fabulous Dana Rhone. Okay, hey Dana, how are you?
Hi, Lady J. I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to finally have you on my show. I am
Yeah,
so
it's,
happy.
I'm coming. I'm here. I'm ready.
We've been talking about it for a while, and it just didn't happen. So because we our schedules were crazy and everything. So thanks for coming on. So everybody, we want to welcome Dana to the show, and you will get a chance to. Um, Oh, people were texting me. We did start, everybody. We're on now. So you will get a chance to call in. You'll get a chance to, if you want to ask them some questions, I'm getting ready to put the comment screen up. So you'll be able to put your comments in here for Dana. But anyway, Dana, welcome to BMore Brooklyn. Normally, my friend Gilbert lives, the show is called BMore Brooklyn because I'm in Baltimore, of course. Gilbert is in Brooklyn, New York. But he's not feeling well tonight, so I'm doing this solo. But me and you can handle it. We can do this. So we
Welcome.
can be good. Yes, we can be good. So again, welcome. And I want you to just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself for those of you who don't know you. I don't know how many people that is because it seems like you know everybody.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll just keep it very short because there's a long list of things.
Mhm.
I'm 29 years old, Baltimore native. I'm a visual artist, also an LGBTQ activist for the community here. I
Mhm.
work with the homeless youth. A lot of work with my peers. Um, so many things. Like I'm really big into the community. Like I'm all about community, all about uplifting, all about being active and just spreading love, and especially this horrible time that we're in. So yeah.
Yeah.
I've
And
been out for the past 11 years. And I'm actually using that as my platform to help people be that better.
wow. Wow. So yeah, you jumped ahead of me on that one. I was getting ready to ask you
Okay.
about the okay, that's okay. We're gonna get there. So anyway, everybody, I'm gonna put the phone number up too, but you had jumped ahead of me, but I wanted to that was the part I wanted to save a little bit for everybody. But anyway, it's already up there. But listen, I wanted to just tell everybody how you and I met because I was actually going on a trip and I was going through Macy's because I needed to get some makeup.
Mhm.
And I remember I was asking, I bumped into you. You were walking, I'm walking with a bag, with my bag, getting ready to travel. And I said, do you know where the makeup counter is at? And, you know, you were asking me what's one, and I told you, and we walked down there, and it was like we just connected at the makeup counter. We
Yeah.
connected. And I was like, you know, you meet really great people, and you have such like your personality is so strong, it's so warm and it's genuine. I think that was the big thing for me. I was like, he is so real, you know, and we laughed and talked like we have been knowing each other forever. Then I bumped into you again because I was going on another trip and you were working. But does anybody ever tell you that like you just have this really warm, strong personality?
I hear it all the time, and it gets very overwhelming. I'll
Yeah,
tell you, I'm really an introvert.
really.
Kid, I was very, very shy. Like I was shy to the point that I wouldn't even really talk to people unless they talked to me. Until I built up the confidence within myself to actually be who I am.
Mhm.
And once I came out and decided to be who I was, like people just gravitated to me, and I hear that all the time, and I appreciate it because I'm being who I am. But it gets overwhelming at time. Oh my gosh, it
Yeah,
does. But I love it. Just like I met you, like on a humble in Macy's. I was working at the makeup counter. Like
right.
that's a lot of people, so it really
Wow.
makes me feel good to hear it.
Yeah, because I think that that's how you know, when you, well, at least for me, I can speak for me, like when I really meet somebody and they're genuine, it's like, okay, I want to talk to them again. I want to really get to know this person, you know, because you just have such a, like, your presence is so overwhelming. You know, you want to, it makes you want to sit down, even if after that first meeting, it makes you want to sit down and just have a conversation and be like, I want to get to know this person. Like, who is this person? You know, so and to hear you say that you're an introvert, like that's hard for me to believe because you just seem like this. Like I call myself the butterfly. You just seem like this butterfly that's just, you know.
Oh, that too. And like honestly, every day, every time I start my day, I say my prayers. I say, Lord, please just give me the strength. Please just give me all the things that I need to go out in the world and be there in the room, because some days I really don't feel like it. But
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. And so Dana, when you because I love the when you sent your information last night, you were telling me all the different things that you do. But I want to start with the one about the LGBTQ. And first of all, before we even discuss that, can you please tell us what the letters mean? Because I want to say this in the most humblest way. Sometimes I hear people joking about, oh, it's the LGBT XYZ, and some things are not funny, because if that's a part of your life and that's a part of who you are, I don't think that we should make light of it. So, can you just tell us what the letters mean, why those particular letters are used, in the gay community?
Of course, gladly. So LGBTQ is short for now LGBTQIA plus, but I'll just break down the LGBTQ. So the L stands for lesbian, the G is for gay, the B is for bisexual, the T is for transgender, which is transgender women and transgender men, and the
Okay.
Q is for queer, which are people that are supporting of the community.
And what were the other two letters you said?
IA.
So, what are those?
So those are for the like non-binary and all the people who are added to the community. But
Okay.
phrase is LGBTQ. It used to be LGBT, but then we added the queer.
Okay. Okay. So, because I want everybody to get that, I want everybody to understand. Um,
It's something that people need to understand, especially the B, which is the one that's always left out and the one that's always understated, which is the bisexual. Uh,
mhm,
that's something that's really going on like in the city and the world right now, and I
mhm.
think that's the one that should be respected, if not the most, because it's the one that's neglected the most. People being bisexual.
Okay. Um, and I wonder why that is because I mean that's been around for a long time.
All of it's been around for a long time since the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
But for bisexuality, for women, it's accepted because women can play around and women can play with their sexuality. With men, it's either a two-way street. You're either gay or you're straight. You know,
Okay,
you can't be
okay.
in, and people don't allow men to express themselves sexually, which is really sad. And that's why a lot of the cheating, a lot of all of that happened because men can't be who they really are. There's a lot of bisexual men out here.
hmm Wow. And so, how old were you when you realized that you prefer men rather than women?
Uh, I would say 7. Yeah,
Really?
7 years. It wasn't like a sexual attraction. It was just that I knew I wasn't the same as the boys that I was growing up with.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
I was closer to the girls, and I didn't want to be a girl. I didn't feel like a girl inside, but that's who I gravitated towards, the feminine energy, because of what I was feeling inside. And what I
hmm
inside was attraction to boys, but the only connection to that was the femininity. So that's when I really just discovered that I was different. Um,
hmm
when I discovered that I was actually physically attracted to boys, I would say middle school, like 13.
Wow. And so, because even in us talking, I want to make sure that because there could be other young people out here listening as well,
Yeah.
and so I want to make sure that we help them. If they feel like they're different or they're feeling something inside of them that other people, that they're afraid they don't want other people to make fun of. So I want to make sure that we help them. So at 13, you're going through puberty. That's the time you're supposed to like girls and all of that. So what were you doing to cope with how you were feeling? How were you handling that?
Oh my gosh, I shut down. Um,
Really?
I shut down because at an early age, I started showing signs of being gay. Uh,
Okay.
it wasn't accepted. Growing up
Right.
growing up in a household with a single mom, it wasn't accepted. It's like it's all, especially in the 90s. I'm turning 30 in September, so I was born in the 90s. So you got everything that's going on, and most women, mothers of young black men, are afraid for their son to be gay. So
Right.
puts in
hmm
the fear in them, and then they put the fear into the child. So that
Right.
happened to me. So when I discovered that I was different, I shut down. I began to be an introvert. I began to be by myself. I would sit outside with the kids and I would watch the kids play, my peers. I would
Mhm.
watch play, but I would sit outside and just escape to my own world where I can feel, comfortable and I can feel myself. But I was
Yeah.
very comfortable for years until I decided to say, you know what? I'm just gonna come out and whoever don't like it, don't like it. But
Yeah. Wow. And so you're 13. So at what now, what about your mom? Because I'm thinking as parents, I'm pretty sure like as parents, I think the parents know sometimes, but they just don't say anything. Um, and did your mom say anything or did she notice anything different about you?
my mother, she told me that she noticed when I was about like 3.
Oh, really?
Three. But like I said, she began to be very afraid of having a gay son. And
Mm,
young, she had me when she was 20 years old. So she was still learning. I'm her first child. She instilled that fear into me. I remember back in the 90s, like the marching bands were like really, really popular. Like people would like the marching bands. And I saw this, oh my gosh, he was beaming. He was amazing. He was a gay man and he was like dancing in the marching band. I was so in awe of him. And I remember being at a birthday party and we were dancing and I was trying to redo the moves that I saw the man in the
right.
I was trying to redo the moves. So she saw me and she was like, don't ever let me see you doing that again.
Wow. Wow.
And as a child who was expressing herself, that scared the hell out of me because I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. Like, who's
Mhm.
wrong? So I began to be scared of my mother, and which made me take so long to come out. Had I been in a household where these kids today are blessed to have a little bit more of an understanding parent, I would have came out a long time ago.
Yeah. And you know what, Dana? I think at that time too, for parents, because like you said, it wasn't a time when you could really talk about it. And so I think for parents too, it was like hard, like you know that your child might be gay, but then you got all of your family, your friends, the church, and all these other people around you. So it's difficult, and you got to decide within you how you're going to handle that situation. Van said, Dana Rhone, I love you.
I love you too.
He said, be the voice, Dana Rhone. Yes, baby. Hey man. So you're 13. So when did you actually come out
I
to your mom and to everybody?
Oh, I came out my senior year of high school. It was dramatic, honey. I was 16 years old when I came out, and I remember coming out to my mother and my grandmother, her mother. We were sitting at the table, and we were just like having conversation, having dinner, and stuff like that. And I was like, I need to tell them right now because I'm having a situation that's going on in school where I'm already out, and I don't want it to get to them. So I just came out and said, you know what? I have a boyfriend.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't say I was gay. I said, you know what? I have a boyfriend. And my grandmother, she just started smiling from ear to ear. And my mother,
Oh
what did you just say? I'm like, yeah, I have a boyfriend.
wow. Wow.
And from that, I was out. And she called everybody. She called my whole family. She called my dad. Like, I didn't even get a chance to tell my dad. I wanted to tell my dad myself, but even though he already knew, but I didn't get a chance to tell him,
Mhm.
like, our son is gay. Like, our first child is gay. You know, it was an amazing coming out story. I can honestly say that family really accepted me. I know it was hard for some of them, but overall, they've shown me love since that day.
Yeah, and that's good because you know what, what I've learned as a parent is I'm always going to support my child. Always, you know, if he said, "Mom, I'm gay," I'm just like, okay, you know, I'm going to support my child because I think at the end of the day, as mothers, we're like, you know what, that's my child. You
Yeah,
know, that's my child, and so whatever my child's choice is, that's between him and his savior, and I'm going to be here to support him. You
and
know.
that's amazing. Like I said, the times have changed so much, and I think it's amazing that mothers are very supportive because growing up in a black household, majority of us grew up with just our mom. So,
Mhm.
oh,
I'm sorry, Dana.
that's all we have. Like that's our first role model, our first love, our first
Right,
idea of a.
right.
So it's like it's amazing that women today are saying, you know what, that's my child. I don't care. I'm going to accept my child. And they're
Mhm.
being very vocal about it, which is amazing. I have two godsons whom I met their mothers first. And their mothers was like, I see something in my child, and I really would love for you to be my child's godfather. And
Wow.
it's been amazing because my youngest godson, he just came out and he's 12 years old. Um,
Wow.
and
Wow.
I met him when he was 2 years old, and we saw it then.
Mm, mm.
So it's just amazing that mothers are being very supportive of their sons. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I think with this world is so crazy, we got to support our children, and I'm thankful for the mothers that support their children as well. Because if we don't support you and we're not there for you, like who's gonna really be there? And we show you the love, and we gonna fight anybody that's trying to come up against you. So
Your
that's the way it's
mother
gonna be.
is my biggest fan, and she's my twin. I look just like her, so she loves it.
So listen, I want to show these fabulous photos. I see you posting these photos, and
Okay.
I want you to tell us because first of all, I don't know who does your makeup and your clothes and all of that, but it's fabulous.
Thank
So I want to talk about what's going on with you now. It was because I love art. I love art. Different types of art, abstract, all of that. But this picture right here caught my attention. Right
Oh,
here.
yes. I
I
love
love
that.
that. Now,
Okay.
what is that picture about?
Okay, so this picture is from 2019. This is from when I did my first charity event called the Art Ball. Um,
Mhm,
for raising money for Baltimore's homeless LGBTQ youth. And
mhm,
the whole inspiration behind that picture was 90s club kid culture, where the club kids were just dressing like these extravagant looks that were very campy, very literal. And I wanted to pay homage to that. And I've always been like a New York kid at heart. So I really
mhm.
give that. I made the entire look.
Oh,
Um,
you did.
yeah,
Wow.
made that look. It's actually out of googly eyes. I don't know if you can really see, but um,
Mm, let me go back again.
like a little
Oh,
eyes
I do
like
see
that.
it. Yeah.
So I just wanted to have like an idea of like all eyes on me, or I see everything.
Wow.
I love
That's
that.
nice. I like that. The hat and everything. And that's actually you, right?
Yes, that's me.
You. Yep.
Uh,
And this one right here. This picture right here. What is this?
Oh, that is 2017. That is when I was my first TV debut when I played Cedric Norris on a
Mhm.
show called Thou Shalt Not on TV1. Um,
Okay.
I was actually casted for that show through Facebook.
Oh,
The
really?
director sent me a message saying that I fit the description of the character that they were trying to cast, and I thought it was a catfish. I thought somebody was trying to get me good, but she was.
Oh,
And I did the audition, and the next week I was shooting the show.
wow. Amazing. And then we got this one over here.
Oh yes.
You have a professional photographer?
No, that's an iPhone picture. That's an iPhone picture in God's grace, honey. Uh,
Oh my goodness. Because I was like, who is his photographer? Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
selfie. You,
Wow.
that was from a couple of weeks ago when I was filming this new show that I'm on, uh,
Mhm.
Secrets, that's going to come out in the wintertime.
Oh.
Um, and I was walking to set and I saw those sunflowers and I was like, look at God. I need to take a picture right now.
And my favorite flowers are sunflowers. I love sunflowers. I really do. So when I saw that picture, I was like, wow, this is such, I said, who is this photographer? Because this is such
That's the
a
I.
picture. Wow. And then we got this one right here I thought was really nice. This is like the person that I met. This is you, like sitting there ready to just go, just have a conversation. We just sitting there talking.
And that was me. Actually, I made a promise to myself to take myself on more dates. So I
Okay.
took myself to breakfast after that, and
Oh,
just
wow.
and I got the waitress to take a picture of me because it's my first time at the restaurant, and it's really just showing self love. Like you don't need you if you want to do something, you don't have to wait for anybody. Go do it yourself.
That's right. I love that. And then we got this one over here.
Yeah. So that was the casting photo for the TV show on TV1. So that's the guy on the left. That's actual Cedric Norris, the real person, and then
Oh,
that's me.
okay. So you were playing him on the show.
Yeah,
Okay.
and him on the show was a real life story.
Wow. What year was that?
2017. I can send you the link. I have the link.
Please, please. I would like to see that. Okay. And then we got this one over here.
Yes,
I love that one.
that was at the charity event. Remember the black and white picture you just saw? So this was the actual event. And so this story is funny. My friend Nick, he was my muse for the entire collection. I made
Mhm.
an intentional collection. I used all male models. I wanted to use unusual material to make looks. And he was supposed to actually close the show, but
Mhm.
ran out of time, so he couldn't close the show. So we're backstage. I'm like, oh my gosh, the music just went off. So then I look and I realized that I made our outfits very similar. So I was like, you know what? Just come out and go on the stage with me. You got to just stand there and stand on the stage with me. He was
Wow.
so upset that he couldn't close the show, but it worked out perfectly for the pictures.
Yeah, and you know what? When I first looked at the picture, I thought he was like on the picture, and then
Mm-hmm.
I had to look again. I'm like, okay, no, he's actually standing there with
Yeah,
you. Yeah,
worked.
that's a
It wasn't supposed to work out that way.
wow. That's a really really nice photo, and I wanted to let me see. Let me get this comment on here first before I go to the other ones. Let me see. We got oh Van said he's always been into fashion. She said, Dana Rhone, you look just like your mom on those pictures. And what she say, Charlene Jenkins, she's what did she say? You sold she said, oh, you had iPhones. She said, take the rest of the pictures.
Yeah. Shout out to my mother. She's turning 50 on Wednesday. Happy early birthday.
Oh, Mom, happy birthday. Happy birthday. And thank you for giving us your beautiful son. Thank you so much.
Protected. She's like, they better remember he's mine.
Okay, Mom, we're gonna give you the credit. We're
You
gonna
know,
give
that's
you some.
Leo, honey.
And then, oh, I love this picture right here. This picture right here. Oh my goodness,
Ooh.
I
Yeah,
like that.
that was on the set of the new show Secrets. I'm actually having a lot of fun filming that show. I'm still filming it. I get to do all of my grooming. I get to do all of my styling. So it's a lot of fun playing with the looks and creating the character and bringing him to life. The character that I'm playing is Nick Evans, and he's
Hmm.
a hot mess. He's the comedic relief of the show because the show is a drama, but he
Hmm.
is how. So you got
Wow. And now, what station is this on?
it's going to be on Amazon Prime.
Oh, Amazon Prime. Okay, I have that. I have that. Yeah, we're gonna have to put all of this in the comments so everybody we can make sure that everybody can see your show. And then I didn't know you played basketball. I was like, okay.
Let me tell you something. I cannot play basketball. Let me tell you, that picture is so believable. That, of that
It
picture,
is.
my dad, I said, when I post this picture, my dad is going to flip, honey, because I did not like any basketballs or footballs when I was a little boy. But
Wow.
this was also for the show Secrets, and that's good acting, honey, because I look like I'm about to do a cross up or a crossover or something.
You do because you know my son is a basketball player, and
Mhm.
so when I looked at it, I said, "Oh, okay, I didn't know Dana played basketball too." Well, it made it believable.
It took like 50 tries to make one shot, but
Wow,
I love to watch it.
yeah, that's good. And then this last one I had, I love this one right here. I
Yeah.
love that.
I saw that mural and I said I had to take a picture of this because that message was speaking to me that day. It really was.
Mm, that's that. Now, so that's with the phone as well.
Yes, that's the iPhone. Yep.
Okay, all
You
right.
iPhone 12.
Really?
You don't need a
Okay.
photographer.
And you know what? That's what I have. I be telling people, I'm listen, all these cameras and stuff. I whip my phone out real quick. But those are beautiful pictures. So the other thing I wanted to talk about too is a few. I guess it's been maybe a couple months or more. You came out with this post. I think that kind of surprised everybody, and you were talking about having HIV. And, this is the thing that I thought about. I remember when I got divorced or I was going through my divorce and I didn't tell anybody. I just went through my own personal pain with it and I cried and I did everything. And then when I felt like I was ready to announce it, I announced it, and everybody was like, "Oh my goodness, Charlene, I can't believe you!" Got-" Everybody was upset. They were crying. So when I read your post, I was like, "Oh no, not Dana!" And I kept reading. But the more I read your post, I said, "You know what? He has really dealt with all of this already. Like you were just telling us, you were opening up to everybody else." But just reading it and looking through it, I could see that you had already dealt with it.
Yes, ma'am. So it was June 6th, 2021 made 10 years since
Wow.
positive. I became positive when I was 19 years old. Um, and I wanted to share my story because I felt like that 10-year mark was such a milestone for me.
Hmm.
Found out I was a wreck. I thought my life was over. It was a traumatic way that it happened. And it was something that took me years to come back to myself mentally, um,
Yeah.
dealing with that. And I said, you know what? I'm not the only one that's dealing with this. Somebody needs to know that I am just like you. I'm
Hmm.
like you. And people need to know that HIV doesn't have a face. You cannot judge somebody by seeing them walk down the street. You cannot judge somebody by their lifestyle because anybody can have it. The person sitting right next to you can have it. And that
Hmm.
was the whole reason for sharing it. And I wanted to share the fact that I have healed from that traumatic. It was traumatic. It was
Yeah. Yeah.
traumatic physically and mentally. And I've healed from it and I've forgiven the person who did it to me, even though I don't even know who it is.
Hmm.
So I said, you know what, this day I'm going to release all of those emotions, all of those feelings that I had harboring inside of me for 10 years. And I'm just going to let it go. And I'm going to decide to live my life because I'm turning 30 in September. What a better way than to go into my 30s with a clean slate?
That's such a beautiful way to look at it. And when like going back 11 years ago when it happened, was it like through sexual activity, or was it something that how did it how did you get it? Do you know how you got it?
Yeah, it was a sexual assault. So I had just went through a horrible breakup. My first love, it was a crazy relationship. It was mentally abusive. It was physically abusive. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I was young. I was 18 when we broke up. So I got introduced to the club scene. I was going out to the clubs. I was drinking a lot. I was, hanging around the wrong people. I would go out alone a lot. Like people will often see me like, "Oh, who you here with?" I'm like, "I'm by myself," and being someone that's young, being someone who's very new to the gay world, I was mature, but I didn't really know everything that was going on. I didn't know
Yeah.
that I was out here acting like I knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
One particular night, I decided to go to the club, and I pre-gamed that house. In the house, had my little cranberry and vodkas. Got outside, went to the club, and I remember getting into the club, but I was already drunk going into the club. So
Mm-hmm.
only thing I remember is standing in the line, getting into the club. Everything else was a blur.
Mm.
But the next day, and often I would go out and not remember how I got home.
Wow.
Like I would always go out, I would get plastered, drunk, and next thing you know, the next morning I'm waking up in the house. I'm waking up in the hallway of my house, or I'm waking up on the floor. Because I was really abusing alcohol. So
Mm-hmm.
that particular night was a blur to me. But I woke up the next day and I was like, I feel a hot mess. Like my body felt like I got hit by a car. And I had so many messages on my phone like, "Oh my gosh, what were you doing last night? Like you were kissing this guy and this and that, and you went home with him and you were just a hot mess." And I'm like, okay, well, why didn't anybody like try to help me? Why didn't anybody say, you know what, this is not you. You are a little bit too drunk. I'm gonna make sure you get home. But
Mm-hmm.
it happened. It was unfortunate, and it's something that I will never forget. But it's something that I felt like needed to happen because I think I would have went down a really wrong road
Yeah.
of destruction had I not been stopped at that moment.
Wow. Wow. Because it almost sounds like you're looking at it like a blessing.
Blessing.
Um,
I was destroying my body. I was drinking too much. I wasn't eating because I wanted to be thin. I wanted to look good in my ensembles, and I was really not taking care of myself at a young age.
and what do you think was causing you to just like drink like that? Were you going through something? outside of that relationship that was causing you to drink a lot?
It was the relationship. My life has I've always been surrounded by love. My family has always loved on me. I
Mhm.
had a traumatic life growing up, thank God. But the relationship that I was in was very, very hard for me. It was mentally hard, and mentally abusive, to as though I started to be physically abusive to him. And I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not going to say the victim, but he would mentally abuse me, and I would then retaliate being physical.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
and it wasn't right. It wasn't
yeah,
right. But
yeah.
and I found out that, we were together for a year and a half, and I found out that he was cheating on me for half of the relationship.
Wow, wow.
I was often being accused of being a cheater, and I never cheated. So, it was a lot of things that I had to deal with, especially being young and just coming out.
Hmm.
Deal with it the right way. I drank.
Yeah, yeah. And let me read these comments real quick before I go any further. Van said, "Happy birthday to your mom." And we got Jonathan who said, he said, I thought his mom shared, he wants to share a birthday wish to your mom.
Oh,
Uh, and he said his sister's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday to your mom when it comes. We love mothers.
John.
Um, he said, I hear you. And this is from Jonathan. By the way, Jonathan lives in Uganda. So he's writing to you. I think they're out there. It's a 7 hour, they're 7 hours ahead of us. So it's early in the morning over there. But so he's watching us from Uganda. He said, I hear you, brother. HIV traumatizes my mom. Wow. My mom has had it for years now. He says, look, bro, I'm proud of you. My mom, she stands her grounds and tells people she's now free. Now, no worries. He said, all the best to you and continue to stand up. Wow. Oh, thank you, Jonathan. Tell your
So
mom we love her too.
yes, we love you. Mwah.
And this is from my son, Eric. He said, hey, Dana.
Hey.
Um, That's from Eric. Um, Jonathan said that it is 3:33 a.m. in Uganda.
Oh wow.
Um,
Thank you for
he
being
said,
up.
yes, for real. He said, I do my best to take care of my mom as she needs care. He said, but take care of yourself, bro.
Yes. Thank
Oh,
you.
that's really nice. Thank you, Jonathan, for being up with us at this
Yes.
time. We're still it's 8:34 here, so 3:30 a.m. Look, I'm gonna be knocked out at 3:30, but thank you so much for being up and listening to us. So yeah, I wanted to get back. And by the way, everybody, if you want to call in, you want to say hi to Dana or whatever you want to talk to Dana, the number is 443-297-4753. I know we have our listeners on the radio, we got our YouTube, our Facebook people, Twitter people. So if you want to call in and you want to say something, feel free, 443-297-4753, and we will take your call. So I wanted to get back to something that you said, because I think we all, when we're going through traumatic situations, I think we all lash out in a certain way, and we cause pain on ourselves because we don't know how to deal with the situation. So I understand you. You started drinking, and so I do understand that. And I think I just love the fact that you're like me, just transparent, just put it out there, and just say it. And the thing about it, when you do that, Dana, you help so many people, you help so many people. And I was watching that post that you have put out when you were saying to the world, like, I have HIV, and it was just so much positivity. People were really being positive. I think some people were like me, like, oh no, not Dana,
Yeah.
not Dana. And Dana was fine. Dana had already dealt with, he had already dealt with that. So
And I don't mean to cut you off, but it's funny because I've met so many people in so many different stages of my life since I've been positive, and um, they probably went back to those moments like, oh my gosh, like I met him in 2013. He's like, so
yeah.
I was telling people, don't feel sorry for me. Do not feel sorry for me because I am fine. I'm at the point now where I can share that part of me, and
Mhm.
so many messages, private messages on Facebook from people who said that really helped them out, that really inspired them. And it really healed me, and it really made me feel so good about myself after.
Yeah. And you should because that's something really personal, that most people will not just put out into the atmosphere. But I tell people, don't be afraid to tell your truth. Don't be afraid to share your truth, because not only does it heal other people, but it brings great people into your life. People start to really love who you are as a person, because you were showing them, like in that one picture where you said, I'm taking myself out on a date. You're showing people how to love yourself no matter what you're going through, no matter what's happening. You got to love you, because if you don't love yourself, nobody else will. So you in your bio that you sent me, you're an actor. We with you that we saw those pictures. Now tell us about you being an activist for the LGBTQ community.
I'm big on being yourself because that's one of the hardest things to be in the community, because you have so many different scenes within the community, and people get inspired by people who have been out before them. Like for me, I always paid my respect to all of the older gays, the gays who I used to watch being younger, because they really have paved the way for me to be who I am. But
Mm-hmm.
when you come out, you have to understand that you are your own person. You are
Mm-hmm.
not those people. So don't fall into what those people are doing. Don't fall into who they are, because you're never going to be happy, because you're going to try to make them proud. You're going to try to make yourself proud by being somebody who you're not, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my biggest thing is to always tell people, be yourself. Do not try to be somebody else.
Right.
Do not. And I don't care if somebody tell you that they don't like it. People have told me many ways that, oh, I think I like you better as a boy, or I like you better when you dress like a boy, or I like you better when you. I don't give a damn how you like me. I like me how I am. It's been hard, and it's always a struggle, because you have people telling you who you are through their eyes when that doesn't matter. What
Mm-hmm.
matters is who you are when you look in the mirror, who you are when you step out your door, how you feel inside. And that's my biggest thing that I want to get out there to not only the youth, but my peers, because my peers are struggling with it too.
Yeah, and you know what? You just touched on a good point, because I wanted to ask you, how do you deal with it? You just told us, but I just want to expound on it a little more, because for example, in the church community, a lot of churches do not accept homosexuality, and they have issues with it. They have issues with parents who are accepting of their child's decision to be to be homosexual. So how do you deal with that? Like when you start hearing all these things, or you may see something on social media and they're talking about gay this and gay that. How do you deal with that personally?
It used to really offend me. I used to get very upset by it. But as I've grown, and as I've grown to have peace with myself, and as I've grown to have my own relationship with the Lord, it's their problem. It's not mine. What people think about you is not your problem. And if people are going to spend their free time worrying about somebody else and what somebody else is doing, then by any means do it. But what I do know is that God loves me, and He made me. He made
Mm,
exactly who I am. I'm not going to God's will, because I wouldn't be as blessed as I am. If I was
mm,
going what God wanted for me in my life, I would not be sitting right here.
mm,
So if
wow.
people want to continue to judge, which is not right, it says that in the Bible, do not judge. If people want to continue to condemn, it says that in the Bible, do not condemn, then that's their problem. They have to take that up with the Lord, because
Mm,
nothing better than anybody. We all are in this together. At the end of the day, we all will sit in front of Him, and He will judge us.
mhm, mhm,
So when people get upset about the church people, I'm like, they have more mess than a 2-year-old child. So don't even let them make you feel less than who you are. Don't let them deter you from having your own relationship with the Lord, because that's what He wants. He wants you to seek Him. He's not worrying about you seeking Him in front of everybody else. He's not
mm,
worrying about that. You don't have to go to the church and say, I love the Lord at the church. You tell Him. Speak through
mhm.
your heart. Don't speak through what you want other people to see.
Right,
you
right.
know and it's sad that it really affects a lot of people. Like I have a couple of friends who really can't be themselves around their family because their family, all those church rooted people, when they have, it's a mess. You know how the church people are. You know how
Mhm.
everybody has things that's going on. Nobody is perfect on this earth, but I hate that people try to make it like being gay is the worst thing when it's
Mhm.
not.
Right. And I tell people that all the time because listen, y'all don't like I tell people y'all don't want to get me started because it's some stuff to be going on in church, and I'm like, what? From the pulpit all the way to the back
All
door.
the way to the in the back, all the way to the Bible study. Everything is going on. People,
Yeah. So.
and it's sad. I hate the fact that one thing I wish that the church was more accepting to gay people coming to the church. If you feel that way about gay people and church is supposed to be the place where you come and you give yourself to the Lord, why are you pushing them away from the church? Why are you
Yeah.
not inviting them to the church? Why are you making such harsh sermons about homosexuality and being a lesbian when you should be telling them God still loves you?
Hmm.
You don't tell them that. You tell them that as soon as you walk out, you will catch fire.
Hmm.
You don't come up to this pulpit right now and let me lay my hands on you. You gonna walk out and you gonna catch fire. That's
Hmm.
right. That's not what God wants.
Yeah. I think that's the message right there, Dana. That um, instead of judging, and that's what I try not to do every single day when I sit in front of this camera. I don't want to judge anybody. I think the message is you can express how you feel. You know, we can disagree with each other, but it's how you say it. And like you said, when people come into the doors of the church, and you know that they're gay, embrace them. Saying certain things or putting it in a certain way to offend is just wrong. It's
It,
wrong. It's wrong.
and it makes me feel a way like that's one thing that kind of I'm still working on. It makes me angry because it's like, who are you?
Hmm.
Why do you think that you have the power to look down on me
Hmm.
when there are so many things that you have done in your life that God has saw you through? You have not
Right.
perfect from birth. None of us have been perfect from birth. There are a lot of people who are recovering addicts and recovering rapists or all that stuff who have become the priests and the pastors and the first ladies of the church, and now you forgot where you came from.
Yeah. Yeah.
You forgot where you came from, so you better than me? No.
Yeah, that's the message. And I actually hopefully we'll get a chance to talk again because those are the kind of conversations I want to start having because with me being in media, I get a lot of people who are in church right now who are struggling because they are gay and they are ushering and they are afraid or they are a deacon or an elder and they're afraid right now. It's like you walk on eggshells, and you're hoping that people who do know won't say anything when they come to church, or they may won't post anything or won't say, and so it's like you're constantly living in fear, and that's not right. So hopefully we can have this conversation again when we really talk about it to help some people.
Because one thing, fear is not of God. God is not, he's not a God of fear. So why are
Mm.
you fear when he created you? I,
Right.
God talks to me. I have wonderful conversations with the Lord. I have
Hmm.
times when I'm just sitting alone and he'll just speak to me. He'll give me a vision. He'll give me something to say. He'll give me something to post. Well, he has never told me that who I am wrong.
Hmm.
He's
Hmm.
never told me that. He's never told me, Anna, you need to change your
Yeah. Yeah. But we definitely gonna have to have a conversation about that. But anyway, I'm gonna move away from that.
life.
Um, I already know people gonna be calling me and blowing up my
But
testimony.
let them blow it up. That's fine. They can have their opinions. We all have.
No, and that's true. They can, but that's what this forum is about. Where people get to express who they are. And like I said, I don't judge anybody. I got to deal with my own stuff, so I don't judge anybody. But I am big on treating people the right way, whether you like what they're doing or not. There's a way that you talk to people, and there's a way that you should say things to people. And so moving away from there, so you're an activist, you're an actor, you are definitely a motivational speaker. Like you need your own microphone platform and everything, because you're definitely a motivational speaker. Do you see yourself as that?
Yes, that's actually the direction that I'm moving forward in my life. And people always like I've done many things in my life, many different things from makeup artist to designer to you name it. And people always like don't you do that anymore? I'm like, well, I'm moving to the direction that I'm supposed to be in.
Right, right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not that I don't want to do it anymore. It's not serving me right now. And right now in my life, God told me to speak. There were
Mm,
years I did not speak. There were years when I did not talk. So now
wow.
I'm speaking. And I'm actually writing my first book.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm writing my first book. It's a self help book for young gay men and also men my age.
Hmm.
And it'll be coming out next summer. And I'm going to go on the book tour. I'm going to speak. I'm going to tell my story, and I hope that I can change lives. I hope that I can inspire people. But that's really where I am right now in my life, is using my voice.
Right. And I love what you just said. You said, I am. You didn't say, I hope. And I love that. I always tell people, don't say, I hope to do this or I think. You said, I am. I
Yeah.
am going on a book tour.
I'm going on the book tour 2022 in the
Yeah,
city. Too.
I love it. I love it.
I sure will. That's one
I
thing I
love
say.
it.
You have to claim it. You have to claim it. And everything that I have ever done in my life, I have claimed it, and God has blessed me with it.
Hmm. And something else you said too is that it's time for you to do other things, and that's so important. Like if you, for any of us, if we're doing something, if we're doing the same thing we did last year or the year before, there's no growth. It's like, what are you doing? You should be ever evolving into something,
Yeah.
because I think the more you start working on one thing, you find out you can do something else, or you want to go to something else. And so I'm telling you, I just love your spirit. It's so infectious because you are just, despite everything that you've gone through, number one, you are positive, and you, like I said, when you talk, you just draw people in, and it's just your spirit. It's so many things about you, and you're handsome. It's it's just so many things about you that draws a person in. And again, I truly believe that's something that only God can give to us. That's something that only God can give to you as a person, and to be like, Dana, you go out, and you help this person, or you be the spokesperson. And the other thing, even with you having HIV, allowing you to have that, but look at your attitude, look how positive you are and how you carry it. So I listen. Tonight has been, for me. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting because we've been talking in the background. So I've been waiting for this just to like sit down and have a conversation with you. And this has been so inspiring. And I really hope that the people who will watch this later on, because it'll stay posted. But for the people that are watching, I hope when you watch this later on that if you know somebody who is struggling with homosexuality or just trying to find their way, show them this video. Let them see somebody and you said you're 29?
Yes, 29.
You are so, I swear I thought you were older than that because you are so mature for your age. Wow. You are so mature. Shout out to your mom. Like you really are mature for your age. And just the way that you carry yourself, the way you handle everything, I thought sure you were older. You don't look older, but you got an old soul. You just act older than 29. But what would you like to say to people before we go?
I just want to say to everybody, live your life. Like, life is too short to not do what you want to do. Life is too short to hold grudges. Life is too short not to be happy. Life is too short not to just be who you are. So
Hmm.
my only words is that live your life and live it
Yeah.
for. Don't live it for nobody else.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great advice. And what can we look for? I know you said you're going to do the book tour. What's going on right now that we can kind of look forward to seeing this year with you?
This year, well, I'm working on a lot of things behind the scenes that I can't speak on. That
Mhm.
going to be a couple of surprises, but I disclosed that I'm writing my book, so that's something that I was going to keep. But I did that especially for you.
Well,
So
thank you.
now that you guys know that you'll be looking out for the book next year, but there are a lot of things coming in 2022. This year is just doing the footwork. I'm still filming the show that I'll be premiering in the wintertime.
Hmm.
I'm just working this year, but next year there'll be a lot to look out for.
Wow. And so, the other thing too, did I tell you that we're putting you in the magazine? Did I tell you that?
No.
Okay, that was
Me.
okay. So anyway, we just made that announcement that yeah, I was like, you know what, we really need to put you in our magazine and let people see who you are. And I just love the fact that your transparency. That's what I really love. And it's going to help so many people, and it already has. So yeah, you're going to be in the next edition of our magazine. I don't know why I thought I had sent that to you. I guess I forgot. So we'll be talking. I'm doing so much. See, I listen. I thought I was making an announcement for the audience. I didn't know I was announcing.
Let me tell you something. This is true. I've always wanted to be a centerfold.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness, I can't. Well, we're gonna put you in there, and we're gonna, everybody will get to see that edition. It'll be coming out around the end of August, around the beginning of September. So you'll get to see Dana in the magazine.
That's great.
Um,
Come on.
yeah, and we just want to celebrate you, Dana, for just I love people who have a reason to be out here crying and complaining, but they don't. I love it. Like I absolutely love it. And that's my gift to you. I just want to put you in a magazine. I want people to see who you are. And we want to celebrate you and your accomplishments and everything that you're doing for the LGBTQ community. Shout out to you for just being a great person, for being a great, great person.
Oh,
And
that's right.
and what did Van say? Van said, Charlene, she said, ask Dana how many times I was in his inboxes.
Every day. I'm talking to her. She's so sweet. And I talk to anybody, like anybody that wants to message me. My social media is Dana Rhone. Last name is spelled Rhone. Like I love my people. So I'm not one of those people to be like, oh no, I'm not gonna talk to that person. No, I talk to anybody.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I know you're going to be successful, and you already are successful, But I know that God has even greater things for you to do, and it's things that are going to happen for you that you don't even know about right now. Things that you can't even imagine. So I just want to encourage you to keep being a great person that you are. Keep, loving yourself as you do. And you know what? See, I say it all the time. Now I'm glad you said it and people can see it. I always tell people when you love who you are and you love yourself, you don't have time for any mess, any
No,
drama. No,
let me tell
bring it.
you, I don't have time for nothing else but the coin, honey. Hey, I don't have time for it because I love myself too much. You're not gonna stress me out. Mm-mm.
Right, right, right. Yeah. And I think when you've been through certain things in life, it's just like, no, you're not going to take me back there no more.
No, not at all. And that's growth, maturity, and it's peace. When you find peace within yourself, honey, it's a beautiful feeling. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful feeling. You better get you
You said you better get you some.
go get you some peace. It's free.
I know that's right, Dana. I love talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. And we will definitely have you on again. Everybody, this is Dana Rhone. And let me tell you something. If you really want to be inspired, you want to feel empowered and go to his page, his Facebook page, Dana Rhone. You'll see all the beautiful pictures that I just showed you tonight on his page. But his first name is spelled Dana. His last name is Rhone. Make sure you go to his page. Make sure you support him, follow him, and he will make you smile. His posts really make me smile when I go and look at them. And so, Dana, much success to you. Please tell your mom. Thank you for doing such a beautiful and wonderful job with her son because it shows. It
Yeah.
actually
Thank you,
shows.
Dad, for giving me his name. It's fast.
And Jonathan says, much love, and he's praying. He's praying for you.
Jonathan, much love to you too and your mother.
Yes, yes, Jonathan. Thank you so much. Now you can go to sleep because this is the
Yeah.
last show for tonight, Jonathan. Go get some rest. So everybody, make sure you join us next Monday on BMore Brooklyn. You never know who's going to be on the BMore Brooklyn show. Shout out to my brother Gilbert, who's not feeling well tonight. But me and Dana held it down tonight. We did what we
I
needed
had
to do
fun.
tonight.
Like anytime you want me to come back, I'll be back.
Yes, listen, I might have to have you in that co-host seat over there. So we can talk. But y'all, thank you so much. Make sure you tune in. We got some more great shows coming up this week. I am going to be giving you a walkthrough because I'm at the beach. So you'll see me walking around at the beach and, just having a good time. And make sure, as I always tell you, and Dana already said it tonight, love who you are, be who you are, embrace the skin that you are in. There's nobody like you anywhere on the planet. You are fabulous. So make sure that you take care of you. And thank you again for joining us tonight on Be More Brooklyn. This is the last show for tonight, but we will be back tomorrow. So everybody have a great night. My name is Lady J. Make sure you go to LadyJmedia.com. Bye, Dana.
Bye, thank
And you'll be able to see all the stuff that we're doing. And don't forget to look for that magazine. It's going to be coming out around the end of August, the beginning
you.
of September.
Everything in that magazine.
And you'll see this person, this young man right here, Mr. Dana Rhone. You'll see him in the What Up Baltimore magazine. All right, everybody. Good night. Take care.